YouTube, I'm sorry. I know I promised you 10 daily vlogs, 10 days in a row, and I know I didn't deliver on that, but please understand, I was staying the night down in Federal Way for the show at my client's family's home. We had a blast, great people, but I just didn't feel like being the guy with the bowl of food and the phone and being all YouTube, here's my food, with these people around that I had just met. Because that's just a little silly, and I wanted to be a little more present in the moment, like I've talked about before. So in this case, I felt that making the video would pull away from the experience versus add to it. So to make it up to you all, here is the day after, and I'm gonna tell you guys all about the show. So to kick things off right off the bat, I did not win. I took second. A couple of factors there that I will get into, but before I get into that, definitely still had some major wins this weekend. For one, the look was wild. For prejudging, Ben and I made the collective decision to bring a blasting full look to the stage. For that reason, we also did not use any diuretics before prejudging, and we were loaded to the brim. So getting to feel that, getting to see that look, even though it didn't ultimately end up going in our favor, was a ton of fun. And then for finals, we dried out a lot. We did add in a quarter of a diazyme between prejudging and finals. Came in sharper, tighter. Stomach was empty, very easy to pose and vacuum on stage. And that look, in my opinion, for that current physique was perfect. And the reaction from the crowd, the reaction backstage was like nothing that I had ever experienced before. I've obviously been stopped at shows. People have given me plenty of compliments, but it's never been to the level where I feel like an actual freak. Like people are excited and freaked out by the very sight of me. On Saturday, that's exactly what I experienced, and it was super, super cool. People stopped me for pictures. Everyone was just really excited to see me and talk to me, and it was a super positive experience in that sense. That brings me to the other major win of the weekend, which I would say this was the first time in 6 or 7 shows that I've actually felt like I nailed my routine and actually had fun on stage. Normally, the stage, posing, doing all of that in the moment is very stressful for me. I'm often hyper critical and self-conscious in that moment because, 20 weeks of work have culminated to this 60 seconds on stage. And if you screw up a pose or screw up your timing, it's so much pressure if you let it be. This year, I felt like I was able to kind of keep that at a distance. The no stress prep energy that I've been talking about this whole time very much carried over onto the stage, and I stand by everything I've said about how the more fun you're having, the better you look, because it was definitely true this weekend, even though it didn't pan out in terms of placing. Okay, so what exactly happened? As I already mentioned, for prejudging, I was blasting full. If, say, 95% fullness is the sweet spot for most people to show all the detailed conditioning, but also maximum fullness, we were at 102%. So we overshot it a little bit. Again, wasn't Ben's fault, wasn't a messed up peak by any means. We made a collective decision to try for a look. We overshot it a little bit, which has never happened before. We've never really found where that line is for my body, and this time we found it. So it was definitely a good data gathering, learning experience for us as well. Now, the other major factor at play here is my tan was non-existent for prejudging. And it was not by any fault of the kind ladies tanning me. They were trying their best. They did a great job. My skin was just not cooperating. I had a lot of issues with my skin this whole prep. Normally, over the course of a prep, my skin clears up nicely, sort of dries out, pretty accepting of the tan. This time my skin was worse and the tan just wasn't working. Because I was so blasting full after I got my first coat, I was also sweating quite a bit. Normally by that stage, I'm so dry that I can't really sweat, and I'll go through rounds of posing and it's no big deal. This time, I think because my body was just still running so hot from all that food and all that fullness, when I went through my posing rounds to send check-ins, I definitely broke a light sweat pretty much the whole time. Because of that, the base coat didn't set very well, and then when they tried to darken me in the morning, it just wasn't sticking. So they did their best, they did what they could. But when I got on stage for prejudging, I was super light under the right stage lights, which already washed me out. Pair that with the slightly overfilled look that we'd achieved. Not as much in pictures, because pictures are gonna kind of auto correct some of the lighting, but in person, apparently, it was a big problem. I probably looked a lot smoother and softer than I was, which is obvious in pictures because glutes are in, you can see the crispiness and dryness through the hamstrings, but apparently in person it just didn't show through. So with that combination of my look, I was moved out of center after quarter turns and I believe 2 mandatories. I stayed on the right side for the rest of prejudge, just went all the way through 1 round of posing, then they filed us off. So as I already said, we added in that quarter of a diazide at this stage, and then I started to dry out. Ben fed me a couple of smaller meals just to kind of hold me and keep me from crashing, but a lot less food than what I was eating before. From 400 grams of rice plus 50 grams of carbs from English muffins down to 150 grams of rice only and a little bit of added fats. But it worked great. I ate one of those meals, I took a nap, I got up, I sent check-ins, I ate another meal like that, and then we went to finals. I didn't have a bite of anything else. At that point, Ben told me to just lightly sip water. By the time I got on stage for my routine, I think my look was awesome. Still huge, still way bigger than I've ever been on stage, crisper, drier, and with a darker tan. You could really see a lot more of the detail. Happy with that look, and obviously I wish I could have brought that look to prejudge, but hindsight 2020. Kim with Center Stage Tan gave me a lot of great advice on skincare moving forward that I think will help me a lot with the tanning process. Like I said, a lot of wins this weekend. I'm not upset. Obviously, I'm a little disappointed. You always want to come in and get first and then win an overall. That's always the goal. But at the end of the day, I'm really proud of the look we brought, and the reaction I got from everybody at the show really showed that I've elevated my physique to the next level. I have a couple shows picked out for next summer. So in the meantime, it's off-season time, baby. Time to make a couple of improvements. One of the other changes I'm gonna make this off-season is actually do quite a bit of posing. In the past, I've sort of dropped the ball on posing in the off-season to give myself a break. But every year I've added so much size that when it comes time to prep again and practice again, it's almost like I have to relearn how to pose. So this time I'm going to pose the whole time as I'm growing. And then when we bring me back down for my warm-up show and then USAs, the goal is to bring the same level of density, same level of size and shape and fullness, but with the nasty conditioning that Ben and I were able to achieve the year before at Nationals. I had a blast at this show. I prepped my client Alan for Men's Physique. He was backstage with me the whole time. We stayed together, we had a blast. I can genuinely say that I had a great time at this show. I'm 100% proud of what we brought and what we achieved, even though it didn't go our way. And for all of those reasons, guys, this was still a massive win for me, my coach, all the people who support me, all the people in my corner. Thank you to all of you. This prep has been a lot of fun and an absolute pleasure to document for you guys. So what's on the agenda for today? It's the day after the show. If you remember from a previous episode, it is also the 50th and final day of my 50 horror movies in 50 days. For my grand finale, drum roll please. Black Phone 2, iPic Theater, Redmond. I'm taking myself out on a date. I'm ordering a nice meal. I'm having some popcorn. I'm having a little box of candy, and I'm going to enjoy movie number 50 to its absolute fullest. And then I'm taking a long break from horror movies, guys. When I bought my ticket, the movie theater looked completely empty, so maybe I'll bring you guys along for some of that, show you guys my spread of what I end up ordering. Again, I'm sorry that I dropped the ball on the full day of eating video one day out that I promised you, but hopefully this makes up for it a bit. See you guys at the movies.
My cabin is just over there if you need anything.
Diet Coke.
Night.
M&M's. Gourmet grilled cheese. Of course I added chicken because I'm still a bodybuilder. Buttered popcorn. Happy bodybuilder.
YouTube. Horror movie grand finale was a success. Day 50, movie 50. Honestly, I saved one of the best on my list for last. That was a banger of a movie. Black Phone 2. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Watch the first one first, obviously, but I think maybe the second one might have been even better, or at the very least, just as good as the first. I had some delicious snacks, as you saw. The popcorn I did not finish. In fact, I only ate about a quarter of the bucket, brought the rest home. I've had a very reasonable post-show celebration so far. Honestly, after however many shows it's been, 6, 7 maybe, I just don't really have the urge to gorge myself anymore. At this point, it takes so much food to carb me up during my peak week that at the end of it all, I just kind of want little bites and little treats. I don't really need to have a whole all-you-can-eat buffet like I used to. I actually lost weight overnight quite a bit. Right after the show, I went out for Mexican food with my client Alan, who also competed, and some other friends of ours. It was amazing. Mexican food has become kind of a tradition for me. I think I've had it after every single show at this point. I got a big old carne asada plate, completely cleared it, beans, rice, corn and all, extra flour tortillas on the side. Other than that, I had a couple cookies and just passed right out. I didn't have any more dessert, didn't have any more snacks. This morning, I woke up 8 pounds lighter than I woke up yesterday, believe it or not. Morning of the show, I woke up at 274. I was 271 going into finals after popping that cheeky little quarter diazide in the middle of the day and taking a nap. This morning, I was 266.4, I believe. Rehydrating slowly because with that diuretic at play, I know that if I start pounding water, I will have more of a water rebound. I went ahead and rehydrated a little bit more aggressively today because clearly I'm staying pretty dry. So I really didn't do too much damage. Ate a couple clean meals so far today as well. I'm gonna eat another couple before bed. Tomorrow we'll be pretty much just right back on diet with maybe a couple of extras. But again, no binging, no urge to binge. Everything's been very reasonable so far in the food department. And that's a wrap on the day, guys. The day after, the dust has settled, the show has come and gone. Like I said earlier, it was an absolute pleasure and a blast to compete this weekend. Thank you to Ribic, thank you to the judges, thank you to everyone who contributed to putting this on. Thank you to the nice tanning ladies that had to put up with me about 18 times over the course of the day because I kept trying to get darker. Congrats to all the athletes who won, including the super who won, and good luck to him at Nationals here next month. Positive vibes all around. Next steps for me, off-season mode, time to make some improvements, time to grow before hopping right back into prep to do some serious damage at USA's next year. Guys, if you've watched all of these videos up to this point, I really, truly appreciate you. And I hope you'll stay and continue to watch. I will be staying more consistent with my YouTube channel. I will not be posting every day anymore, but I'm gonna keep it going, a video or two a week. Let me know what you'd like to see from me. I really like this vlog format that I have going here, and I've gotten a positive response from people. Comment below if there's something specific you'd like me to cover or another type of video you'd like to see me put out. To everyone who supported me, to everyone who helped me along this journey, to everyone who followed me along this journey, thank you. We'll see you on the next one, YouTube.